Hello and good morning, good afternoon and good evening to everyone, wherever you are. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Passport Nomad. Before we get into today's content, I would like to ask you to, at this time, subscribe to help me get to my goal of 1,000 subscribers and like and share to help support this channel to see the latest content as I continue to make more videos for this channel. With that said, let's get into today's content. As the title says, I'm discussing why dating a single mom is not in my personal preference. Now you can agree or disagree. Everyone has a preference and has the right to like what they like. Now before I go further, I just want to make it clear that there's nothing wrong with dating a single mom if that is your preference. This video is not to demean, discourage, discriminate, or cast a bad generalization against single moms. This is just my personal opinion and views on why dating a single mom is not in my preference. If this video triggers you, I advise you to please not waste your time and scroll on to the next content creator now. For everyone else, let's please have a discussion and leave a comment below in the comment section. Today I have a group of video clips I will play to further elaborate on my view on dating single moms and why I don't prefer to date them. Now there are a lot of reasons behind a man having this preference. So stay tuned as I review a few of these videos about the reasons why I choose not to date a single mother. Let's get this started with our first video clip.
It's never beneficial for you to date a single mother. A lot of times they got a lot going on. They're not going to have a lot of time on their hands. And you're never going to be first priority. Even the honest ones, they'll let you know, like, you're not going to come first in this relationship. It's going to be all about the child. If you don't have any kids, you better make sure that she wants kids. You got to keep in mind that biological imprint that the baby father left on her, if there's still an attachment there, then that's something to be concerned about as well.
What he said in this clip is generally true. As a man coming into a relationship with a single mom does have its concerns, the kids naturally will come first to the single mother before all else. Those are her biological kids, not yours. The kids will take up the majority of her time and attention. Plus, if the biological father is still alive, he in some extent still will play a part in being in her life and the kids that he is the biological father of. This can lead to a series of problems when it comes to her still having feelings for the biological father. She might go back to him. Or he will complicate your relationship because you are the new man coming around his kids. You have to also put yourself in his shoes if he is concerned about who his kid's mother is bringing around his kids in her relationships.
Men don't want to date single mothers, or men always talking about single mothers, this, that, and the third. This is a perfect example as to why. Because again, you expect this man to come in, be the man of the house, pay all the bills, be romantic, do all that, be a father to a son that he didn't have. That's not my son.
But he has no say-so.
But he has no say-so in the discipline. He has no say-so in the guidance. He has no say-so in how this house is going to be ran in regards to your son. So how do you expect me to be the man of the house when every time that I try to tell him something that's right, you bucking the system because you getting emotional, because you damn the message I'm saying, you processing it as, no, you can't tell my baby nothing.
Because it's my baby.
Just my baby.
Yep.
So as a man, how enticing is that of a situation to walk into? That's why men don't want to date single mothers. That's why.
That's another reason why I would prefer to date or marry a woman who has kids by me. If it's a single mother, again, it's not your kids, it's her kids. In these relationships, you might have the responsibility as being a stepdad, but none of the authority as an actual father. You will bump heads with the mother over how that kid is raised, especially when it comes to disciplinary action with that child. She may not even have a problem with that either. But then again, there's also a third party involved with the actual biological father, which can lead to arguments, disputes, and even violent conflict. This is why I refuse to raise another man's kids. That was his role to play, not mine. I'd rather not have to share my kids with any other man, and most men feel this way. If I have kids, I want all the authority on how I raise them and rights to discipline those kids because they aren't just her kids. They are our kids, period, point blank.
This is why a lot of men will pass on single mothers, because they don't want to be disrespected in their own house. And at the end of the day, that child is not his, and now he's dealing with another man's mess, another man's problem. And maybe that's an insensitive way to talk about children, but I'm sorry, that's how men see it. And this is just a whole headache that a lot of guys don't want to sign up for, or sign up for without realizing what they're signing up for.
Which brings us to another point. The being disrespected in his own home by non-biological kids. It's one thing to deal with a disrespectful person in a relationship. It's another thing if that person has kids who don't respect you and don't listen to you when you're the provider of that household. The kids may say things like, "I don't have to listen to you. You're not my daddy." This, as you can imagine, is a headache for someone who has no actual parental or biological say over these kids. Even if you do get along or establish a relationship with the kids, just always know that being a single man in a relationship with a single mom, if something goes wrong in that relationship and you break up, you're not just breaking up with her, but you're breaking up with the kids as well. Afterwards, you created a bond with them. Then you're right back where you started without any biological connection to those kids nor her. Most single men want to care for and raise their own kids, so they have a legal right to them.
Hate for it because his preference was he doesn't want to date single mothers, and they start saying, "What's wrong with single mothers?" And he goes, "I don't have any kids. I consider myself a high value man. I want to build with a woman who doesn't have any kids." And she didn't accept him having that preference because she goes, "Oh, am I not worth it?" And he goes, "Listen, none of that. I just don't want to take on your use. What's the problem? Why?" He goes, "Why am I being forced into a lifestyle I don't want to fit your happiness?" That's crazy. So men are like down now. Men aren't allowed to have preferences, but women can say he's got to be 6 foot. He's got to have 6 figures. He's got to have. You understand?
That's
and
right.
It's like, but no one cares about that. But God forbid a man say she can't be overweight. Then you're fat phobic, and you understand that men aren't allowed to have voices. Men aren't allowed to project what they want.
Now, before I go further, some of you might say, well, what's this got to do with my channel and travel? It's simple. My channel isn't just about travel. It's about everything included around traveling, especially when it comes to relationships or long-distance relationships between foreign people. Part of realizing that this subject isn't just a geographical subject, but it's a worldwide subject when it comes to single moms of every nationality, ethnicity, or walk of life. Moving forward, in regard to the last clip, I personally can relate to what that guy was saying because I myself have received the same reaction from women who asked what my preferences was in dating. Just like he said, I was met with criticism, shaming, insults, and one even said, "Go back to your country," just because I had a preference in only dating women without children. I never once ever said I hated single moms. I never insulted them, so I was wondering why. Why did they insult me for having a preference? It's almost as though women can say they like this kind of man who makes six-figure income, six-pack, muscular, attractive, tall, and etc. But being a man with a preference is a bad thing? That makes no sense and is a double standard if I've ever known one to be. In the end of the day, everyone likes what they like, and we must respect everyone's preferences. To each his or her own. I'm not going to insult you just because your favorite flavor of ice cream is licorice. Although I personally dislike licorice. But still, that is your taste in ice cream, and I don't have to like it, but I respect your preference because that's your preference. Not everyone likes the same things. Now, as far as single moms go, there are men out there who don't have a problem with dating single moms. They most likely are single dads or have had children themselves. However, for as a single man without kids, we usually want someone to start a family with to raise our own legacies of children. My parents want me to give them grandchildren, not raise someone else's kids. Sorry, but that's just what it is, and how I was raised by both of my biological parents. Therefore, I choose to want the same. Well, that's enough for today. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. If you have any stories to share, leave that as well, or contact me at passportnomad17@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Everyone have a great day.